Will Tennyson just built his dream home gym. So I tracked down every piece of equipment to figure out how much does this actually cost. It looks dope. But finding the price of this stuff might not be as easy as it seems, because Atlantis Strength doesn't list any of their equipment prices online. So I had to do some internet sleuthing and piece together the cost of the entire gym bit by bit. So by the end of this, we'll total everything together, because honestly, towards the end, it starts to get out of control.
Here we got all the leg stuff. We got the hack squat. We got the hamstring curl. Over here, we have the pendulum squat. We had the nice built-in sauna right here. Remember when I wanted the red light room with the glass? Red light room with the glass.
All right, so let's go over that real quick. So, hack squats up first, $12,500. Hamstring curl, 11,550 Canadian dollars, so 8,159 US dollars. And then we have the pendulum squat, $12,500. And that's not even all of the leg equipment. We can't forget the sauna and the red light room. Obviously, there's no way to look up the exact sauna and equipment that he got and who actually put it all together, so the cost is pretty much unknown, but if I had to take a stab at it, I'd probably put it around $10,000. That includes things like the wood, materials, the heater, the electrical, the plumbing, so it could very well exceed that price. And then we have the red light room. Not including the cost of putting up that nice glass door and actually renovating that whole little room, but just the red light itself costs $4,500. That's right, $4,500 just for a light.
Custom Tennyson plates. And then you'll see right here in the leather, we got the Tennyson leather right there. Of course, every good gym needs to have a lateral raise machine. So
let's go ahead and take that bit by bit. Better Body actually sent him all custom plates, so we're just going to assume that he got around 850 pounds of plates. So if you, a normal person, were to get those amount of weight plates, obviously not custom with your name on it or anything, it would probably run you around $2,700. With the customization, who knows? And then we have to address the customization on the machines, as well as a specific color for all the padding. We know that Atlantis didn't hook him up with anything, but we're going to assume because he bought so much equipment, maybe the cost of the color of the padding and the custom logo was thrown in for free. So you might not have noticed, but that custom logo was on the pivot press leg press machine. So let's talk about how much that one cost. A surprising $6,500. And take in mind all of these prices that I found online. They looked like they were brand new, but they could be used or refurbished equipment as well, so the price might not be 100% accurate. Atlantis doesn't list any of their equipment prices online. Most other websites that have their equipment don't even list their prices online. You still have to call for a quote or send them an email and then wait a few days to even get a response for that. So I used the most reputable resources that I could and got the most accurate pricing that I could. Then on to the standing lateral raise. That'll set you back a cool $8,250.
Then over here, we have dumbbells from 5 all the way to 120 pounds. And just like the plates, they are also custom with the Tennyson logo as well. Squat rack with this really sick Tennyson plated custom mount on the back.
So to be clear, I couldn't even find Better Body dumbbells 5 to 120 in 5-pound increments. They only sold 5 to 100 pounds. For the 5 to 100 pound dumbbells, those specific dumbbells that he got, obviously not custom, with the 2 racks cost $5,500. One of the more reasonably priced pieces of equipment is the full squat rack. So the Better Body full squat rack goes for $1,300 to $1,500. Along with the adjustable bench that he didn't quite mention, also goes for another $350 to $500.
And then over here is more of the upper body stuff. We have the lat pull down, which then turns into the cable row. We have a preacher pad right here.
So the lat pull down / row equipment goes for approximately $6,300. This was one of the pieces of equipment that I could not find anywhere for sale online. And honestly, compared to some of the other pieces of equipment, $6,300 kind of seems like a steal for that. And then we have the preacher pad, which kind of flexes Atlantis's price for everything. A preacher pad for $2,600. It's not a selectorized machine. It doesn't even have a place where you can load anything up and curl anything on it. You have to have your own barbell and weights just to use this piece of equipment.
We have this chest press machine, which I'm super excited to use. My own Smith machine. I don't have to share it with anybody, just my very own Smith machine. Functional trainer.
So the chest press and the Smith machine. Let's talk about it. The chest press machine goes for $5,250. Honestly, pretty surprising on this one as well. And then the Smith machine goes for $8,260. Seems crazy to say, but those almost kind of feel cheap. And then we have the functional trainer, $10,000. The one that I found on sale online for $10,000 had weight stacks up to 225 pounds. And I know the one that Will has, the weight goes all the way up to 300 pounds. So it should cost even more than that.
Over here. It's not done yet. We're gonna get a hyperbaric chamber in here, but we have the Zwift bike because you should be doing your cardio. So
obviously I have no idea what a hyperbaric chamber might cost, but I can find what a Zwift bike cost. And it costs about $1,300. And along with that $1,300, it costs $200 a year for a membership. So it is not cheap to do your cardio like Will Tennyson. But doing your cardio does pay dividends. So do your cardio. So there's just one piece of equipment that we haven't hit yet, and that is the T-bar row. That goes for a surprising $2,700. Not quite as steep as some of the other equipment, but there are a few things that might not be listed that you might not be thinking about. Obviously, the first being the entire remodel of the gym. It comes along with electrical and HVAC and plumbing and all of the above. And it's probably one of the most expensive things about building a home gym like this. If you just put all of the equipment in a basement, that's one thing. To tear everything down, build it back up, and then put your equipment in there is something completely different. Will has truly built his dream. And in order to build that dream, he needed to get flooring. So he's got some 8mm flooring. I just went with the basic gym flooring that I could find online, and you can get that uninstalled for about 2,500 bucks. So something you might be thinking, how much does the remodel cost before all the equipment is even added in? And honestly, this is basically impossible to calculate. Everybody is going to charge something different. All of the specific wiring and all of the needs for his basement might be different than any other home that's been done before. So to know the exact numbers would be basically impossible. Somebody that's in the industry will have much more knowledge than I possibly could, but according to Google, it could be anywhere from $20,000 to $100,000. And if I had to guess, it's probably on the higher end, but we're just gonna go with about $50,000 for the remodel. And honestly, it's probably more expensive with that, seeing how aesthetic everything looks, but just call it 50 grand. So without the remodel, without the sauna, without the red light therapy, and without the flooring, just our Atlantis and Better Body equipment combined costs nearly $92,000. So on the low end, everything all together, Will's home gym costs approximately $160,000. So if I had to put a range on it, I'd probably say from $150,000 to $200,000 American. Canadian, well over $200,000. Honestly though, I think Will deserves it. If you had the money to build your dream home gym, what equipment would you put in it? And the massive question is, how much would you